With us today marks South Africa's Heritage Day, which we hope is an absolute moment for you to reflect on what it means. It's themed the year of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, advancing transformation of South Africa's heritage landscape, and the official celebrations are taking place in Kokstad, and we're crossing there live now to watch what's happening.
Hi. Okay, we're here. We go by the name of The Legacy. Oh. Now we're gonna do the song called Wena Wetu. Oh, sorry. Not this thing. Not this thing. What's that?
Oh, no, from Simphiwe. We are coming to Mlungis.
Right there with me is where you belong.
Yeah.
And I see and I feel
We are still here at Zimkhulu. Now, I do not know if you can just see behind me, but the people of Zimkhulu are still coming in their numbers over here to listen to Deputy President or Acting President Brother Didi Mabuza, who will also make his maiden address. But to tell me more about also today's events, of course, Inkosi Ulaki. Thank you very much for your time, Nkosi yami. Kafusha nje mosichazela ukuthi kungani kumqoka ukuthi sigqaje ngamasiko ethu.
Ngiyabonga baba. Okumele kakhulu sisigqaje amasiko ethu, ufuna wazi imvelaphi yakho ukuze wazi ba uya kuphi. Uma ulahla isiko umuntu ongazazi ubani. So isiko lihamba nenhlonipho esikakhulu nokuyiphatha. Ufuna umuntu South Africa uzazi ba South Africa ngokwesiko lakho. Njengoba manje mina ngimilana ngiyilento engiyona, ngiyayiqhenya ngoba ngiyilento engiyona ngoba ngumuntu wakwaZulu. So uma ngigqoke kanjena ngiyabona ba ngihlukile la, and ngiyabonakala ba ngubani, angibuzwa ukuba ngubani. Kuyathi ba lo wakumZulu lo, inkosi yakwaZulu leya. Ingakho ngilapha ngizovezela abantu ukuthi ufuna uyigcaje nesizwe sami inhlangwini, ufuna yazi ba ufuna iyona igcaje njengoba ngazi ukuba amasiko ngiyabagcina esizweni. Inesiko lokwenza lentombi okuthiwa umgonqo, lapho kufundiswa izintombi ukuyiphatha ngoba izindona mbali zesizwe onozala babantu. Uma azikho intombi kuyophela isizwe sonke South Africa.
Nkosi yami uzungibela nje kafushane ukuthi kungani kumqoka ukuthi ugqoke ibheshi lakho, usichazele kamanzi nangalo futhi.
Ibheshu thina sithabantu abantu siyaphila nezilwane, ukhombisa siyazithanda izilwane, asizenyanya izilwane, azisiphathisi ngafivi izilwane maseyigqokile ngoba sihlala nazo. Uma namanje ufika endlini kukhona imigodi wegundane ngihlala nalo, inyoka ngihlala nayo ngoba thina abantu siyabantu bokuba sihlale ediversity, sakwazi ukuhlala nezilwane, asizicezi izilwane basizicontrola, sihlale nathi sijwayelane nezilwane. Ingakho ngigqoke kanjena nje ngikhombisa ubuhlobo bobuntu nesilwane.
Mhlasimbe yini iziphi inhlelo eninazo ukuthi uqhwashisa abantu bakho ukuthi begqaje ngesiko labo?
Ngoba sengishiye ukuthi khona umsebenzi onawo umcimbi abakhona minyaka le, lapho sifundisa khona abafana, sifundisa khona intombi ukuba ziphathe ngendlela eright, ngoba uma siyekela lapho kwenza inkunzi isematholeni. Ingakho siqala lapha sithi bafana intombi sondelane niqhaje ngokunina nize nibazi ba abantu abamnyama ukuze nibe ne direction uba niyazi ba niyakuphi.
Thank you very much, Nkosi yami. That was Inkosi Laki of Zimkhulu. Now he made it categorically clear that it is very, very important for the people of AmaZulu to wear their traditional attire as to show that they are very, very proud of their attire. Now he also went into perspective about what his attire basically really means. Now I've got some other guests with me. Mama, thank you very much for isikhathi sakho. Sayibona iattire yakho yinhle. Asichazele kabanzi ngayo.
Mangiqalisa ukuqala ndiyazibuyisela ngale mina namhlanje ndinomalungelo bhonga yi-birthday yami namhlanje zalwe nge-Heritage Day 24 kaSeptember. Ndizawucacisela ngesinxibo sethu kanye ndizafuna ukucacisela ngokuthi nje xa sithetha nge-heritage sithetha ngantoni. Xa sithetha nge-heritage sithetha ngobuntu bethu, sengenkcubeko yethu, siyayilanda imveli yethu. Kuthi namhlanje abantwana bethu abasakwazi ukuzenza izinto ebesazenziwa ngoomakhulu kudala, abasakwazi ukuthetha isiXhosa, abasakwazi ukutya kufanele makutyiwe. Into ekufuneka sizenzile thina singomama abadala like mna ndingumakhulu, I'm 64 years today. Funeka sifundise abantwana bethu i-culture, inkcubeko yethu, sibathathe kwezaa ndawo abakuzo sibazise apha. Noba basesikolweni umntwana funeka abuye azazi abavela khona kwenzela bazazi apha yakhona. So xa senza loo nto kufuneka yonke imihla siyazi uba abantwana banexesha bathi bakwazi ukwenza ezi zinqubo sizinxibileyo. Ayinguye wonke umuntu ozoqeshwa ayobetha ikhompyutha, awunguye wodwa umuntu ozoqesha hamba ohlala eziofisini. Abanye abantu bazawuhlala batye ngezintsimbi, benze intsimbi bathengise, bazama uba bazifumanele imali, basuke estratweni baye kumane becela umsebenzi worhulumente kokoko. Nabo baye kurhulumente bawucela ukuncediswa entweni abayenzayo, bacele intsimbi uba mabanikwe imali yokuthenga intsimbi, bathengisela abantu. Ngokwenjenjalo sizama unyusa inkcubeko yethu, sibuyisele ibuhambo lethu, abantu bakuthi babuyele abo bavela khona. Namhlanje bekufana wonke umuntu olapha unxibe isixhosa sakhe akhumbule imini yanamhlanje basithetha ngantoni, because sithetha ngenkcubeko yethu, sithetha ngemveli yethu. Befoma sitya izigwamba apha, befoma sitya imiqa, befoma sitya imingqusho, singatyi izinto ezityiwa yonke imihla, sitye ukutya kwesixhosa. Abantu abaninzi sebegula nje baguswa izinto abazityayo ezingasuki emhlabeni. Fama sitya ukutya esikulimileyo, sitya amathanga, sitya imingqusho, sigube, si-exercise, sihambe siyokha amanzi emlanjeni sibuye nawo. Kodwa ke ngoku urhulumente sesinceda asipha amanzi. Kodwa kona ukutya okuthengwa efrijini, okuhlala efrijini ongakwazi noba kwakubekwe nini, iiphiza ezisefrijini, awukwazi ukufumana izakhamzimba apho. Izakhamzimba zifumaneka apho kusuka khona ingcambu yethu, ukhe isipinatshi sakho phantsi, ukho imifuno yakho phantsi, wazi into yoba le nto uyikhayo ifresh, isuka egadini, uphekele umntwana. Umfundise nokupheka. Abazukulwana bethu abasakwazi ukuthetha isiXhosa ngoba kaloku bafunda ezilwimi bazifundayo. Asitsho bangazifundi, but ke sithi isiXhosa ezi funeka besifundile nazo. Yama nentombi yami ke apha uncumisa Bhonga, second born yami, igroup yami sivuyile nonzame Transnational Dancers. Yaqala ukuxhenza ngo1976 kude kuba namhlanje sayibambile. Zange siwe. Sesuka phesheya ka9 besifika nangosuku eMadagascar.
There you have it, another traditional lady wearing her traditional attire. As I mentioned earlier on, that the people are coming here in their numbers to listen to Deputy President Dipkin Mabuza as he will be making his remarks today. But we also understand now that in Kokstad, in the town of Kokstad, Deputy President Dipkin Mabuza is expected to unveil a statue of Adam Kok III. Now we also understand why Adam Kok III is very, very important here in the community of Kokstad, as he is said to be one of the founding founders of this particular time. But like I mentioned earlier on, we will bring you more about today's festivities and celebrations. Over back to you in studio.
All right, thank you very much, Mlungi. See, that was some of the activities happening behind me. Well, as you can see, I'm surrounded by beautiful young girls dressed in their traditional attire, displaying their different cultures, being proud of who they are, and also being proud of being South African at the end of the day. We have spoken to quite a number of people who are part of this event today, but one of the persons who we think is very important to get also the views of the former Premier of the Eastern Cape, Ume Unoxolo Kivitz. Unoxolo Kivitz, thank you very much for joining us. When you look at a day like this, how do you feel as a South African?
I feel very proud. I feel very honored that Sias Kumbuza, we're reminding ourselves of who we are, where we come from, and what we should be doing, how we should be living our lives, moving forward. And for those amongst us who are leadership, it also gives a sense of what else can be done for South Africans to realize how important, how wonderful a people they are.
But, well, September is Heritage Month. We always have this day. Every year it comes and it goes. But are we doing enough, though, to preserve our different cultures?
Well, cultures first and foremost are community-based. For as long as we, as various communities, do not do enough, because I do feel we are not doing enough to realize who we are, and where we come from, where we want to go to, we will always complain. We will always find challenges. Because some of today's challenges are as a result of us not being to translate who we really are into our daily lives. Just a little example, the level of violence against women. In the olden days, women were treasured, respected, loved, protected. And because we have lost that sense of, even in upbringing, how girls, how women should be raised, that leads to a society today that does not really value the essence of women, motherhood, being a girl, and that kind of respect is wearing away.
How can we use a day such as this one to further strengthen the social cohesion that is very much needed in this country?
Firstly, these kind of events, they kind of bring people together. Just now we were watching Amampondo from the Eastern Cape. People appreciating their dance, their lifestyle, even though here it is in KZN, but the appreciation. And for me, that's how you build social cohesion. Each one of us being able to notice and to realize the beauty in the other one, and the essence of life in the other one. And therefore, days like this, for the whole month actually, they have been taking place. As we are gathered here, other provinces also are gathered in their own provinces to say, this is who we are in this province. And for me, these are events that are necessary for us to build social cohesion, because they bring people together to appreciate the beauty in each other, to appreciate humanity in each other. And therefore, we need more of days like this. It mustn't only begin and end in the month of September. It must go, it must be our, if on a monthly basis we could have a special day dedicated to our heritage, because the teachings also that go with it will help change the people's mindsets, because it's not only watching the dancing and the singing, but it's also the teachings that come from within.
Often we talk about what government can do to further promote and preserve our different cultures, but in terms of society as a whole, how is society actually trying to preserve and restore the dignity of our cultures in general?
If you recall, I started by highlighting the need for communities to appreciate first who they are, because it starts there. It starts at the family, at the home, and in the community within which we come. But also, if as communities we could have days like this, because now our communities are not as, I would say, due to a lack of a better word, as pure as we used to. In the olden days, in KwaZulu-Natal, you would find Zulu-speaking people. In the Eastern Cape, you would find Xhosa-speaking people in majority. But now we are becoming that community that is mixed, but which must not lose sight of who we are. And therefore communities at community level must be able to hold their events like this in that community to remind themselves and to connect amongst themselves. Because the kinds of activities now that are challenging us in form of xenophobia and the like, it is because as Africans we do not appreciate one another. And when we all organize this at community level, we will learn to understand each other better and know more about each other.
And thank you very much for your time. There is the former Premier of the Eastern Cape, Nokolo Kivit, also outlining the importance of today. But for now, let's go back to the main stage where gospel artist Dumim Kokstad is currently performing.
Jehovah, ezintweni zo umo Jehovah sanibonani safuna sike senze lento ekuthiwa i-holy mess. Uma khona isitulo eduze wakho uthwala isitulo, noma yini eseduze wakho uthwale.
You know, in this Heritage Day, it's very, very important for our people, importantly, to also observe their language. It's also important for them to not to lose grasp of their language. Now, not so long ago, I was here in the community of Kokstad and I spoke to some of the Khoi and San people. Sadly enough, when I spoke to them, they said that they are losing some of their values when it comes to their language. But to tell me more about that, I've got Togo Kaluva from the Human Commission for Religion and Linguistics. Thank you very much, Ma, for your time. Now, as time goes on, we are seeing our people losing their language. How can we sustain that?
We can only sustain that through deliberate programs, especially as we talk about the Khoisan people. We need to resuscitate that diminished culture, that diminished religion, and that diminished languages. So as a nation, we need to build from scratch when it comes to the Khoisan. But we also need to be careful that we don't lose other languages as well that are still viable today. We need to learn from that process of the Khoisan people and say never again.
How can we lobby government to ensure that we do not lose these languages?
We need to have specific programs. For instance, in schools, they need to introduce a mother tongue language, but also to introduce other languages for other people who maybe speak English or Afrikaans much earlier, so that as children grow up, they already master the language, irrespective of their culture.
Xaluva, I know you've been very vocal in the past, in particular when it comes to religion. We understand that not so long ago, some pupils were actually expelled from school for keeping their Shembe hair. Some pupils were expelled for keeping their Rastafarian hair. Now, what are you doing about all that as an organization?
We've dealt with the matter. We've even encouraged parents, we've helped them lay criminal charges, because cutting someone's hair is not what education is about. It's actually assault. If you cut a child's hair and you're not the parent and you're not the assigned individual, it's a crime. So we've laid criminal charges, we've asked them to lay criminal charges, but we've also told the Department of Education, especially here in KZN, that they must start educating their people, but also education department all over the country, that issues of religion are non-negotiable. When people come to school, they bring their religion with. You're not going to re-Christian them and say to them, no, now you are going to be this. You're not going to be Rastafarian anymore. We need to respect all religions. We need to respect all cultures and all languages.
Now, this Heritage Day, how do we preserve some of the most important heritage and cultures as well?
You see what is happening here today to preserve the heritage of the Khoisan people, to say they do exist, and to acknowledge that Adam Kok lived here. It's part of preserving that and acknowledging the past. But also we need to be a rainbow nation, to accept that we're not monocultural. We come in different colors and shapes and sizes, but also our cultural way is different. This is a day when we celebrate who we are and what we are. And I think it should be a day like this every day, because we're in Africa and this is what we are. And we should be willing and able to do this every day, anytime, anyway.
Thank you very much, Ms. Xaluva. Thank you very much for your time. That was Ms. Xaluva from the Commission for Religion and Linguistics as well. Now, most importantly, she also mentioned that it was very, very important for the Khoi and San people over here in Kokstad to also preserve their culture as well. Now, also most importantly, when I was here not so long ago, I actually spoke and interacted with the Khoi and San community. Now, what they said to me is that they would like to see government lobby, they would like to see governments preserving some of their culture, and they will also like to see some of their languages, most importantly, being adopted. Yes, like she also mentioned earlier on, that the statue of Adam Kok III will be unveiled here today, as we also ensure that his legacy remains and is restored right here in the community of Kokstad. Now, we are now also going to link to Constitutional Hill, where some of the celebrations of Heritage Day are also ongoing there as well.